Welcome everyone to a little bit of MoonDog Flies. I'm Mr. MoonDog, and there are two monkeys missing from the late night show tonight due to family obligations, work obligations, and such. I'm by myself, so I thought I would do a
Hey.
little bit. Okay, hold on. I'm flying by myself.
Okay.
I'm by myself. We're doing a little bit of uh, ILS sort of instructions, and I'm going to do 3 flights here. Now, in the background in Discord, we have Travis, part of the
What
Monkey Show,
up?
and we have Andrew in the background who normally flies but is busy careening around corners somewhere. You want to say hi, Andrew, or are you busy in a corner?
I was busy, but yeah, hi. I'm at
so,
Italy right now.
so he's going around corners in on Monza, I assume. So, um, where am I at? I'm in Miami, and I'm flying to Southwest International Airport in Florida. So it's Miami to Fort Myers area. I'm going to do it in this Duke, the 737, and then the uh, Phenom, and it should be interesting. I have it as ILS, and I have it as IFR instructions, so it's going to be easy to understand, I hope. Any questions that come up, please feel free to let me know, and I will answer them just as soon as I notice any comments to make. Anyone in Discord that has questions, feel free to ask. I may or may not get them right, but I will at least answer them. So, let's jump inside the cockpit in this thing.
What's the capital of Kentucky?
Lexington.
Oh, you mean. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I do mean this, but yeah,
Okay.
and it is Lexington.
Sorry, people, but it is the Monkey Show, so.
Yes, it is. All right, so I have everything running already. So we're just going to call up this. Now, what I have been doing recently is for the is actually just undocking that and putting it on the other screen, so it's not in our way. And okay, and altitude 6,000. Okay, so right now takeoff is all sort of similar. You're going to be needing ILS. You are going to be needing your uh, navigation radios, which is on for this one is on this side. You have channel 1 and you have channel 2, and you can adjust them by putting them in over here. Let's see, what do we have? I'm doing a direct. What am I doing here? Doing a direct flight, so I don't have any ILS, so I'll have to look up the one for Southwest Airline or Southwest International here in just a minute. But we're all set to go. Put flaps down. All set. Little dash lights. GPS is already set. GPS is going to be useful for a portion of it because we're doing direct GPS. And we're ready to taxi, so. Now, I was trying to record a video with all this out of the Cleveland airport that I am close to and flying into the Akron Canton, which is my sort of home airport. I taxied that enough to know exactly where I was going before they even told me where I needed to go. Because I'd gone down and through the taxi way too many times. Yes, I acknowledge. Thank you. Check and chat. Okay, we're all good. So we have Andrew racing in the background. We have Travis mucking fields on Farm Sim. It is a typical monkey show background.
Flinging muck.
Sounds like something I would normally do.
Yep.
Current active weather 3026. It should have actually already done this before started moving, but get it. A little bit of speed. Now the nice thing with the Boeing is I could set the throttles to automatic speed and I wouldn't have to adjust it, but yeah, I'll adjust it. Any questions, comments so far? Okay, good.
Hop on flight sim after I'm done with this race.
That's fine. Sounds good. I am flying live on Join FS. All the normal situations with that apply. Join FS, flying for connection. Flying on myself on Steam's flight sim and Orbix scenery and active sky in the background. Alright, so while I'm taxiing, I can grab the other computer and pull up. Yeah. Six for landing. So I should be flying into 6, which is their regular. That ILS is 111.5. So we'll get that set here in a minute after we take off. And we will attempt to not crash this thing today. As I was telling Travis before I got started, I was flying this. I haven't crashed this thing once until earlier last week when I was thinking of doing these videos and crashed it 4 times in a row on takeoff. And it came down to trying to adjust throttle before I was actually in the air enough with enough speed to do that, and stalled it and crashed it right out of the sky. And as it's crashing, I'm going, why is it crashing? I couldn't figure it out, and it was something simple.
Usually is.
Don't cut back on the mixture and throttle too much before you're done climbing. Trying to get it in a nice zone for the flight and was doing it a little early, so we won't be doing that this time. Just not going to do it. We're going to do it the monkey show way. We'll just bury the throttles, the props and mixture, and just have it screaming through the air as fast as we possibly can.
I like it.
See which one can get to the corner first and which one's going to not break. So we finally made it to the runway. Is this the hold line? No,
Still
that is
good.
the hold line. Multiple hold lines. I'm starting to learn what those are for. One's the hold for the runway, the other one's the hold to be out of the way, so then in case they have something else coming through. So, because I'm going to be working the actual radios, we will go to 23 liner and contact tower. Wait a minute, switch it to there. Now contact tower. All the way down. And knowledge, thank you. Where? And as we get up in the air, then we'll figure out how to set our autopilot in this plane also, because I know that there's been a couple people wanting to know how they always have an issue with this plane for some reason. I can't get the autopilot to set.
That's the big inflatable doll, right?
Really, Travis? Really?
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, from airplane.
Well, yeah, that you are correct. He actually had a name in that. Did you happen to know that?
I did not.
I can't remember it off the top, but I just saw that not too long ago and noticed that he had credits. So we're in the air, and we're not going to mess with adjusting mixture or anything yet, because I want to make it into the air. Knowledge going to so we can turn on the autopilot. Arm turn left heading 305. Okay. Heading. So we have autopilot in charge. Now, does that sound bad on the sound there, Travis? Except for the fact I hit the wrong thing.
Let me make you
Is
for
it?
that so you don't get any
Yeah.
feedback.
I just want to know, does the sound too big? Does the plane sound overpowering? Can you hear me over it? Sound pretty even? Okay,
That
so
sounds pretty good to me, I think.
okay. All right.
It's not too loud, yeah.
So we are flying now. We have the autopilot on, set to heading. This heading switch, you can turn it off and adjust, or you can turn and have it on. We have our altitude hold. You turn your altitude hold on. You hit arm, and it will, and you can put it to the altitude you want. We had it at 6,000 is what they wanted, and I'm too messing with it. And then, wait a minute. Okay, 6,000 arm. Then you can click up. It'll go to 800. You'll see that we're climbing at just about 800. We're going to fly through some clouds. We should be fine for that. We will turn on the stall and veto heat. So, now if we look at the GPS, we're a little bit left of where we need to be headed. Turn that to GPS. Turn that onto heading. And we'll start to meander over there. Okay, now I need to check my chat because I had that off. Aviation, just did a flight, very windy, 737 on my own landing. Whoever said that made me a bit mad. Okay. I can hear you over it. Okay. Thank you, aviation. Thanks for jumping in there. Whoever said that made me a bit mad?
Made me a bit mad.
I know. Yeah. What did we say? I didn't mean to say anything. Travis apologizes. I'm sure he does.
I do, but what did I say?
What he said.
The autopilot.
The autopilot. Well, if
Here, let me
you gotta watch when you say stuff like that because people tend to fix that in Monkey Show chats rather quickly.
Well, aviation, I'm sorry if I offended you. It wasn't my intention. It was a movie reference.
No. It was the person that put up something right after that.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. But I was finishing off the others. Okay.
So, all right. I want to say.
Oh,
Well, no, it's already done.
No,
Thanks.
No.
All right, so we're
I've got
in the
it
air.
open too. And
Yeah, no. We're on our way. We'll be leveling out at 6,000 feet here momentarily. You know you're making it big when you start getting trolls.
uh-huh.
All right, so notification, we're on the right. Okay, that's what I want to do. We want to start to set up our ILS for approach. ILS into here was what, 111.5? So we're going to change this to 111.5. We'll actually put it over in there. We don't have it reading yet, so that's fine. If we knew the ILS for the airport near it, right near it, which we could probably look up if I was diligent. I'll do that here in just a second after I climb to 8,000. Yep, we are climbing up to 8,000. Then once we're done climbing, then I'll start adjusting engines. I accidentally joined the voice channel. When you're, well, you can join in aviation. You fly with us, but you don't get to say nothing. We're going to leave trolls lay. So I have that. What did I want? I wanted wires. Where is the ILS that's for the one next to it? ETC and ground. All right. I have two computers running. You won't believe how many freaking tabs I have pulled open, so that. Traffic at 10 o'clock. 4 miles. 37. They're below the clouds. How am I supposed to spot them? All right. Well, I can't spot them, so I will say not in sight. No, aviation, you're not the troll. There was another troll, and we're not. We're just going to leave those trolls alone. That's all.
Yep.
If I was to call you a troll, aviation, I'd actually let you jump in here, and then I'd call you a troll. But you're not, so. Okay, so I want to go to Lee County VOR, which is right close, so we'll set that in. That would be. All right. When I'm doing ILSs, I want to set the ILS on the second nav radio. So it's now set. The main nav radio is where I'm going to. That's actually 111.8. Now, nav 1. It will let me know if it, once it reads it, distance and such to it, so that's fine. Our heading into, our course heading into the runway, which should be 6, is 58, so we're going to adjust this to 58 now. And that sounds like aviation. Hello, aviation.
Hello.
So, how are you doing tonight? Are you flying with us, or are you doing stuff? Nope, he's not all the way in yet. Okay, acknowledge handoff. Yes. Acknowledge handoff going to 1250. 120.5.
Okie dokie.
Are you
I'm not
flying?
on my PC. No, I'm not flying.
No?
I had to hop off and get out of school tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Albuquerque was very windy today.
Albuquerque is very windy today. Okay.
Yeah, I was flying in, had a lot of side wind.
And
So-
look who showed up.
So we
Hey, Dan
have.
BP.
Hey, BP. Let me finish this real quick. Aviation
Yep.
is learning how to fly. Andrew is going through flight training, and then we have myself and then BP who pretend to fly. But BP's probably really pretty good.
Don't forget, I'm also learning how to become ATC.
And he's learning to do ATC on VATSIM, which will mean I will have to do that at some point.
And I'll be more than welcome to teach you.
Okay.
Even though there's already online things to help you with that.
Well, I probably have 1 or 2 people that'd be glad to help me. I will. Thank you.
MoonDog, you're really good at repeating stuff, so you'll be good on VATSIM.
I'm really good at
Yes, you are.
Because
Thank you.
that's all you do on VATSIM, basically, is repeat what somebody else said. See, you're doing it right now.
Let's turn left.
So what are you teaching us here, MoonDog? How to fly an ILS?
ILS approach because a couple of the other guys from the Monkey Show have had issues with it acquiring and
Yeah.
bringing it in, so I might as well go through it with the Duke. This is a fairly simple system. You can use it on this, the uh, Cessna, whichever, be the same system.
I always struggle with these pedal powered jobs. That's why I don't fly ILS in these things. I don't really get it.
Yeah,
So I guess I better watch and learn, huh?
I might actually teach you something. That's
No, I'm just messing with you, MoonDog. I know how it works. An ILS is an ILS. I get it.
right.
But no, it's cool though. You should do that because this is your thing. This is what you do. So I think it's neat. Well, that's a nice looking plane.
It's the Duke that we've been flying.
This is the Duke, right? Yeah.
Yep. So complete
I haven't been in
IFR
this
and
yet.
everything. What do you mean?
Yeah, it would be.
Wasn't you in it Saturday? Didn't we fly? Didn't you fly the Duke over?
I didn't fly. No, I flew the Cessna the whole way. I didn't change plans.
Oh, okay.
Greetings from Argentina.
Oh yeah, I just
Hello,
saw that. Hey, what's
Yeah.
up?
Well, thank you. Greetings back from Ohio
New
in
Mexico.
Missouri.
and Missouri, and
Nobody cares. Shut up.
welcome to the Monkey Show. It's definitely a Monkey Show type of night. So now we just get to fly the approach. We'll listen to ATC say turn left, turn right, and all of that until it gets us onto the approach.
Stand up, sit down, fight.
Right. The other thing that I like to do when I'm flying these is, if it will do it, go into procedure, select approach. It is directing me to ILS 6, so I'll accept it and do vectors and load it. That way, if nothing else, I can also see that I'm turning onto the flight plan as we get close to it.
That's where I get lost using that in-game GPS. I hardly ever use it, so I don't really pay any attention to it.
Yeah.
I just pull up a chart and say, oh yeah, this is the approach, and I try to fly that.
Well, right, and that's what you would do, but if you have the option and you're learning how to do it, you might as, I mean, it's there. Why not use it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
A little off course there.
Even the one thing I don't like is how I can't update it with my Navigraph subscription.
Well, yeah, there's ways to update the nav aids
Yeah.
in FSX. Like I do it every cycle, but I know MoonDog's had issues with it in the past doing it that way. I've never had an issue. I just make runways every time I update anything in FSX, and it always works for me. So
Yeah.
I just flew into a little tiny side of the road place today that I had downloaded from one of these bush plane sites, and yeah, it worked perfect. It was right. Well, because you're visual flying, so you can't really miss it. There's the runway, I guess. It was sort of it honest to God was a strip of gravel between two lines of trees, and I'm like, well, it looks like a runway. I'm gonna land there.
No, I'm talking about the Navigraph data. Like right now, it's cycle 1802.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about that?
Yeah. There's a site, and again, you do this stuff at your own risk. But there's a site. If you search FSX Navaid update, there's a guy who updates all the BGL files for all the airports in the world, corrects all the ILSs and all the offsets and stuff. And it's real simple to install, and he does it for every cycle. So that way your Navigraph data and your FSX data they match up.
Okay, so the ILS that I put in, it finally did catch it. Now it's telling us we're on the dash. We're 50 nautical miles away, and such, and time to the distance. So.
Oh, this thing even has a DME. I didn't even realize. See, I haven't even been in this plane yet. I guess I better fly it occasionally.
It's worth it for what it is. It's a nice little plane.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm thinking about getting the Twin Otter.
That's one change.
And that's not something
over
I
to
say
Nav2.
usually.
Nav2, we don't have contact with ILS yet because we are definitely too far away still yet. Things that I check. All right, so I have that. You stepped in just before I had mentioned 2 computers, 3 screens. How many tabs do I have open?
Right.
26.
Just about. I've got 9 of them on the other computer screen open for
Wow.
Twitch, YouTube, and all the restream stuff.
Good for you.
And then the charts that I've pulled up. 290. Thank you.
You missed a good time at drummer today, MoonDog.
Well,
Shoving all the logs into that chipper. It was a bit of a faff, but it went pretty quick with 3 of us doing it.
Well, that's good. I would have gladly been there, but I was playing with bathroom tile, so someone was paying me to do something, so I figured, yeah, I'll do that.
Yes, and I was playing with schoolwork.
So schoolwork, well, only certain people get actually into Drummered, and I appreciate it when I'm allowed to show up.
Is it snowing there, MoonDog?
Where I'm actually at?
Yeah, real life, is it snowing?
That's a good question. They actually said the storm's supposed to hit about 2 a.m.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just trying to get a gauge of when, because I keep getting alerts on my phone. I just didn't know where it actually was.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's not snowing now. I just checked. We've had each night about half an inch to an inch, maybe 1.5 inches of snow.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a dust
last
thing
night.
this morning, but
And then they're calling for 6 to 7 inches by morning for us in this area.
Yeah, here it is. Okay, so winter weather. Well, it went down from a warning to an advisory now.
Oh, well, you've got an advisor.
Server
well,
you on?
Is it Eastern Hops Community?
Yeah, because for some reason Digital Theme Park is just completely dead, huh?
It was, and I don't know if it's up again or not, but Eastern Hop guys we need to make sure
we need to hook that up.
Yeah.
Because we're using their server, and we appreciate it greatly. They're more than welcome to fly with us on Saturdays or whatever if they want, and more than welcome to make a donation as
well. Which I had forgotten to mention anything about. Do you want me to do it? Or you want to do it?
No, go ahead. I'm gonna go make a cigarette. You do your thing.
Okay. Let me tune in. All right. So what we're talking about is the Monkey Show World Extravaganza. We are flying around the world to have something to do while we're raising money for the Ronald McDonald House. It's a very wonderful, very wonderful charity that helps the family members of sick children with lodging and other needs that they need to help the child get better. And it's a wonderful organization. We have raised some already, so if you feel like you have the extra to give, the link is in my description, and there is a link on the both Twitch and on the YouTube banners. So
there you go.
And we appreciate all the donations we've gotten so far.
Absolutely, $200, pretty good. So pretty good for our helps. Absolutely, and I can't. I mean, it sounds like I'm just saying it, but Ronald McDonald House, massive. They bring in millions of dollars a year. Our little, in the scheme of things, our little $200 isn't much, but they constantly send me emails saying thank you. So yeah, I couldn't be happier. Our first sort of real foray into genuine charity work, and it's going great. So
yeah.
And that too.
Think about it in the context of how much do you spend on food, just for yourself a week. Well, sure. That $200, I mean, that would feed a family for a week probably.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Absolutely.
Andrew, I'm starting at gate 8-10.
Like I always say, it's a global charity, which was important for us, obviously, because the Monkey Show is a global entity. We're from all over the world.
Yeah.
So and I wanted to make sure that the money goes into one place and then it gets funneled out to wherever it needs to go. So it's not just America, it's not just the UK, it's not just one country, it's all of them. So that's great, and we're definitely going to do it again. So
yeah, and we don't touch a bit of it. It goes straight to Ronald McDonald House. It doesn't come through us or anything. So
not a bit of it goes to me or anybody else in the Monkey Show. It goes straight to Ronald McDonald. So,
and I need to actually show up at McDonald's and let them have some actual cash at some point too.
Do you ever throw your change in the thing? Like, when you get your change at you go through the drive-through and they have that little slot. Yep. I'll throw my change in there a lot.
Sometimes. I haven't done as much as I should. I've done it a couple times. Well, no, because I tend to do this. I tend to give them exact change, and then I don't get it back, and I don't think of that. But I have done I got it one day where I pulled up, and the lady goes, "The guy in front of you paid for you." So I'm like, so he was passing forward, right? So I'm like, all right, let me pay for the guy behind me. So
I need to go to McDonald's in Ohio because that never happened.
My wife had that happen to her once. It's been a long time, but it did happen to her once.
I had a guy do it on a toll booth one time. I was on my bike and I was by myself, and so I'm coming through the toll. And this is when the toll booths around here still took money, and and I'm fiddling around in my coat pocket for 65 cents. And the woman, when I got up to the thing, she said, "You're all set. The guy in front paid." I'm like, "Oh, cool." And I just took off. I didn't pay for the guy behind me. Screw that. He was driving an RV. I don't know how much that cost. He saw me on the bike, and I guess he decided he was going to pay for me. I'm like, thanks. I couldn't catch him. He took off. I was going to run him down and say thank you. But
well, okay, let's stop and imagine what BP looks like chasing a guy down.
Well, that could be.
Let's just stop there.
After me, run!
Whether it was good intentions or not.
MoonDog?
I am doing the 737 next.
And then Phenom. Okay.
And then the Phenom to wrap up. Because that one I shouldn't crash no matter what I do. And now watch, I'll plant it nose first in the middle of Fort Myers. Yeah, there was actually significance on where I picked. I was going to do Cleveland to Akron, Canton. But with the storm coming in, I wanted to be able to make it visually able to not to be a fight with weather or anything. So I said Florida, got to be nicer and short distance. And I've actually, my only flight out anywhere has been into this airport. So I keep coming back to this one for secondary interests. So, all right, I see things happening down here on our gauges, the nav2. So if we click over here, nav2, still nothing. Okay. Are you guys going to start to have me descend any here? For too long they will. I'm 27 nautical miles out. Wow, I got a bunch of people watching. This is it will get more interesting because now we will be getting ready to actually start the approach, which is where the ILS instructions will actually happen. It's a little hard to just jump up into the middle of the air, and of course I picked the slowest plane first so that we got all the introductions and stuff out of the way first.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like everyone's an expert in flying jetliners and
I don't know nothing about that, MoonDog.
well, no, I'm just saying, like everyone wants to fly the big old jetliners. So,
I wanted to get a twin piston prop, twin prop. I don't remember which.
All right, 1600, and well,
Piper, Beechcraft.
Twin Otter.
Oh, the Twin Otter.
slow this down so we don't rip wings off because we don't have a MoonDog crash counter on my own screen. Not going to happen.
That would have been amazing.
It only counts when you crash on Saturdays.
Well, I don't want any crashes anymore anywhere. That's just a sign of a poor pilot.
They happen occasionally.
They happen occasionally. I found out what I was doing wrong in crashing it the other day. I was adjusting.
What were you doing wrong?
I was still climbing and adjusting prop and fuel mixture too early before I was at altitude and stalled it. Choked the not only did I stall it, I choked the engine so it had no fuel to fly. So,
Hmm.
and then promptly planted it into the city of
you're
Cleveland.
fine.
So, all right.
So I spent about 20 minutes messing with my water today. The water's pissing me off. I can't get it the way I like it. I finally got it sort of better. But
Okay. I had to figure out which water. Is he talking about plumbing, sink, drinking,
no, freaking Rex
visual,
water. It's
visual
driving
water?
me
Okay.
nuts, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I
just
don't-
too bright. It's better now. Obviously, down here the water's shallow and it's that blue, so it's supposed to be that color, which is fine. But it's just when you're out over the ocean
Right.
and it's that sort of shiny, like sparkly blue. I just don't like it. So
Yeah.
I messed with it a little bit. Got it right. Oh.
All right. So they will be turning us here before too long and directing us in. Are we close enough that we have? Nope, we're not reading ILS yet.
All right, so here's a question, MoonDog, and this is a serious question. This always trips me up with this thing. Do you have to spin that OBS dial to get it to line up?
Yes.
does that-
No,
okay.
you do have to spin it. I have it actually set on the course for the runway now. It's 58,
Okay.
and it doesn't line you up on it at all. It's just reference with the lining up so that you're lined on it correctly.
All right. See, that always messes me up.
So,
Because obviously in an airliner you have a course, and sometimes it's automatic. Sometimes it'll just track the course through the radio. So, but with these, I never know what I'm supposed to do with that. So
right, I spin it to that direction. Now the next thing is this dial down here. This
Yeah,
will
the
be.
HSI.
Is that what that is? Okay. I don't
the
know.
middle?
Bottom middle, underneath.
Oh, hold on. In the
Uh,
middle, I know it's HSI. I don't know what's in the bottom middle.
Right.
I think that's just another VOR.
It's in another VO, but that
Yeah.
has your ILS for glide slope.
I was going to say that's the
Mhm.
localizer and the
Glide
glide
slope.
slope indicator. Yeah.
Correct. So the top line will be, directing us come down when it locks on. The left and right one will be centered so that then you know that you're locked onto
The localizer.
localizer and then bringing you in glide slope wise.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the integral things that you need to know when you're coming in there and you go, did it catch it? Did it catch it? When you start to see stuff move, you'll know that you've got it, and you're sort of hands-free until you take back control of it.
Mm-hmm. And each little dot's about 1 nautical mile.
And I'll switch that. If you're doing ILS, you can't have it on the GPS switch, so you turn it up to nav. That way you don't forget to do that later because it won't catch if it's on GPS.
And make sure you have the runway, crap, what am I, runway heading to, and both of it aligned.
Right, and that's what we're just going over. That's there we go. Acknowledge heading 3.
Andrew, that's a command instrument, right? So you fly towards the needle.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like same with normal VORs.
Yeah. Okay. So I
If
don't
it's-
ever fly ILSs in these things, so I don't really know how they work, but I'm learning. I just don't ever see the point. I rarely ever fly anywhere. Like the only time I'm going to fly anything like this is with these guys, and I just wait for one of them. Wait for Roy to find a runway first, and I just follow him then.
And if you're waiting for him to find it, then Stu's already found it, landed in the way that Stu lands, and then we find Stu. So
What's the way he lands?
I can't follow Roy.
Quickly.
He takes too long. He makes way too long of an approach. I cut in front of him all the time. Like, you're way too far out. I'm not taking all that time.
Does he take like a 7.4?
He goes out like 20 miles to turn around.
God.
He'll take like a 20-mile downwind, and I'm like, no, I'm just coming in.
Wait, what plane is that? Would he be flying then?
Well, we've been flying the Cessnas, the 182.
Okay, 20 miles is way too long.
I can't.
I usually
Even
cut a
5
corner and
is long.
just land. Yeah,
I've done
5
That's just the
in
way he
real
does it,
life with
though.
the 172, and it feels like forever.
yeah.
He just likes to get lined up.
I mean, for a jet, 20 miles is decent.
I mean, all you need in a 182 is like 2 miles at the max.
Yeah.
Well,
And sometimes not even that.
All right, let Moondog finish his instruction.
well, I was going to say we flew into Cork, and I think we used about 50 feet for lineup the one night. So
Well, that last one at Shipton, I basically turned in about 100 meters over past the threshold. Like, oh,
Right.
there it is.
Okay, so now we're getting the instructions for heading in. So this is where we're turning right, heading 30, so that that is the direction that it should catch for the ILS. We are going to want to be at 1,600 feet, which we are getting close to. And then we're going to acknowledge the tower and thank you for who just subscribed. I saw that pop up there on the other screen, but we'll get that in just a second.
I'll let you know.
I'll see it here in just. Yeah.
Jim Barnes.
Jim Barnes. Thanks for subscribing there, Jim.
So here's a little trivia for you. What angle do you want to try to capture an ILS? To intercept an ILS, what angle do you want to be?
45 or less.
Very good. Very good.
That is a geometry question more than anything else. So now I'll switch the main ILS on our navigation channel to our ILS heading so that it can capture it that way.
What runway? 2406?
06.
Okay.
And
get used to that 30-degree angle, Moondog. You start flying on VATSIM, you're going to be flying that a lot.
Oh yeah, the 30-degree bank.
And then,
all
right, what am I? Okay, so as things pop on live, you'll know that you're capturing ILS, and in a moment here, it should be making a turn. That's why I have our vectors on this one, because you'll be able to see us. If you draw the line all the way out, you'll see the plane getting over it, and then that'll mean, oh, it should be turning here. You'll know if you've captured it or not. Then you can relax and go, okay, ILS has got at least that control of it.
Oh, yep, he's down to 2,000. You're good.
One of the other things to watch for is your distance to the line there. It states it there if you're left or right of it. It has the ILS line there. It's now pulling us on. We should be gravy. Except for we're not.
And then
wait a minute. I just flew past it. Why did I fly past it?
Yeah, I was gonna...
No, because I did not hit approach.
No, you're coming on. Yeah, you gotta hit approach, but you're coming on. The needle's starting to center up now.
Yeah, and it'll actually bounce back around because I'm actually far enough out that it'll still line it up.
Mm-hmm.
So now I gotta want to work at.
Once you hit Dolphin.
Now I want to be working on speed and mixture and flaps. Because that's then the next important thing.
Full rich, props full.
Yep.
One notch of flaps, blah, blah, blah.
Which we've done. The only thing I have not done is landing gear yet. Which that
probably pull back speed a little bit and then do landing gear and another notch of flaps.
That's where I was going with it.
I'm going to shut up and let you do it.
I've got pilots in training and senior pilots for
I don't know nothing.
VAs, they, plenty of instruction here.
13,120 hours at the VA as of yesterday. I don't know nothing.
So that's our runway ahead of us. You can see the glide slope's actually starting to inch down. Yes, it is. So that'll mean that we'll be catching that here in a minute. Go full flaps, gears down, and we want to give it a little bit more power because...
There's somebody ahead of you.
There is somebody ahead of me in a Boeing 737.
Yeah.
Well, he should be able to get down and be out of my way by the time I get there, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you got plenty of separation. You only need 3 miles.
Right.
And gears down, 3 green.
Yep. The only thing I've not done is do landing lights, which I left on the whole time, so we're good there. glide slope was caught, and you can see that we're getting pulled down, so we're good that way. What do you know? ILS captured, and the correct way of doing it. The only thing
Good
left
job.
to do
Now
is to
fly,
actually
fly the
land
damn
it.
plane.
Mm-hmm.
Fly the plane. When do you want me to
Get
take
autopilot
control of it?
I don't know. Well, I guess it depends on your particular preference. I usually, when I'm fully established, I usually take over. That's when I take over. With
Normally,
BA,
I take
the
over when I see runway.
SOP is 1,000 feet, but I usually take over when I'm fully flaps, full flaps, gear down, blah blah blah. When I'm at my ref speed, then I take over. That could be whenever, but
For the 737, I keep forgetting how to turn on the ILS. Well, I know how to turn on the ILS, but I keep forgetting how to get it to follow the ILS, so I just hand fly the entire thing.
the 737 you're going to fly, is that freeware one you got, Mundo?
The free one that we just got. There's a at Raikou. Actually, it's pretty darn good, to be honest.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
What
So
7.3? It's like a whole bunch.
It's 737-823 from Raikou.
Yeah, because I think I have one from Raikou too.
So we'll just turned off the
I just hate
autopilot
downloading
there.
shit. Good job, Mundo. Good job.
Mm-hmm. What's a landing or speed on this? Like 90 knots?
I have no idea.
About
it probably
that.
would be, think.
Yeah, just a little bit above stall.
And we've drifted a little. That's all right. Pull it up.
The next thing MoonDog's going to learn how to do is use his rudder.
What are those?
GA guys hardly ever use your rudders. They fly these bush planes, man. It's all rudder. It's all, these things don't.
It's all right rudder.
Well, pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
It's even worse if you're in multi-engine. They both spin the same way.
That's a pretty place to land, though.
Oh, yeah. The water everywhere. It's beautiful.
Oh, I see rudder pedals moving now, MoonDog. Good job. I was only fucking with you, man. Just fly the way you fly. I don't care. I hardly ever use them in the airline either, unless I'm, taking off, or if I got to slip in for whatever reason, if the wind is, killing me on approach. But
how many times have you popped in and you've gone, nice little sidestep and stuff like that? I have a little bit of an idea of control.
Dead on the center line. This is nice job.
All right.
Hey, very good.
Money.
That was butter right there. Good job.
Just a little short, but really good.
A little bit short. Do we want to go back and take a look at the replay and see if I was short or not?
Yeah, I think you were a little short, but
Yeah,
you want
a
to
little short,
but still pretty good.
You want to vacate at that taxiway. It was perfect. Short is sort of, as long as you're not landing on the threshold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I didn't crash it. They don't have pull-out fire trucks. I wasn't long. I didn't put it off the end of the runway. It was
Pretty
center,
nice.
fairly
Is your
center.
landing gear broken?
Landing gear wasn't.
No, it
No.
was a smooth landing.
No, it was smooth. It barely even bumped. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That was,
Usually
Passengers are like, are we on the ground?
that was butter. That was like my 747 landing last week, 25 feet, minus 25 feet per minute. I didn't know I was on the ground until I looked down at the.
okay.
How do you
So
How do you get minus 25 feet per minute?
13,000 hours of flying it. That's how
I
you
did
do
that
it.
in my
We'll-
777 too.
all right.
We'll
So
747.
shout
It's
for
a
a minute.
combination of wind and scale.
Yeah, slowness and all that. You had a headwind and all. It was perfect for you. All right. So now I'm going to jump. So everyone knows black screen may pop up. I'll switch it over. I'm going to set up for the 737 now and go back to Miami, and we'll do the flight again.
Yep, I'm
Just-
in 777 at gate 12.
So we will end flight here and jump over to, yes, hit end flight and then pull up that screen. That way then you get all of the nice dashboard. All right, so change plane. If we started to acquire a few Boeings, Boeing 737-823, American Airlines. Miami, 10 a.m. flight plan. We're going to do the same flight plan, so we're just going to check, double check. We're good with that.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, I want to hop off. Have a good night, guys, and safe and happy landings.
Thank you, Aviation. You have a
See
nice
ya,
night too.
Take it easy.
Bye.
See ya.
And then we're going to hit fly now, and we'll jump right into that.
Oh, that's MoonDog's desktop. What's that top one? Pornhub? What does that say?
That's on the other
I did not want to
screen.
hear
so
that before I left.
I keep that on the other screen and the other computer.
Later.
I actually have the list of just the games up there that we play. Some of them more than others, like say Transport Fever lately.
I haven't even installed all my games again on my hard drive.
Don't.
So many games.
Don't.
2014?
I'm going to wait till I get another. Either I rebuild this one or I get another hard drive and another one of these 4 terabyte ones. Just because just Ortho and X-Plane 11 is killing me. I have to keep taking it off and then.
I think that's MoonDog next to me.
All right, so American Airlines skin 737-823. We're going to do the same flight that we already did. Now, these are the bigger jets. I don't do them as well. Let's just put that out there. But I do understand how to get it back on the ground. So we're just going to go back through it and do it the same thing. So
Yeah, that's me next to you.
so we're going to call up clearance.
-73 also on your side.
Okay.
No, I was just asking.
No, I'm not. Let me double check here.
You're good. You don't have to. You could take as long as you want.
Okay. So we're going to set that to 6,000. Not 8,000, 6,000. This one is this key there, and we're doing what with Squawk? 7.4.
This looks nothing like a Boeing.
No, it probably doesn't. Was that BP that mentioned that in the back there, whispering?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay, well.
It's fine. It's fine.
It looks better than the last one that I had, so.
Yeah, Boeings are more dials. Except for the newer ones.
Alright, and then double check weather here was 3025. It would probably be nicer if I went out and got an actual pay-war one, right?
Yeah, you're gonna drop that kind of money on a. How often are you gonna fly it? You got to fly it all the time for that kind of money.
No, I don't fly the Phenom or the Beechcraft nearly as much, and it's actually starting to irritate me. But at least I'm having fun in the A2A's Cessna,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'll deal with that. So
That's why I never bought the PMDG 737 because I'm not gonna fly it. We don't fly it in my VA enough. Unless I fly to South Africa, I'm not spending $100 to fly 10 routes. It's not worth it. I probably will get when Quality Wings gets their stuff together with this 787. I might get that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite there yet. It's not bad, but it's not quite there yet. So, because eventually BA is gonna, 2030, the last 747 will fly, and then we'll all have to switch over to 787s, and nobody makes an A380, so we're kind of screwed there.
yes, Andrew, that is an Airbus sitting next to me, or a Boeing. So
Oh yeah, I was gonna say it should be a 777 because that's what I'm flying, but oh well.
well, I probably have it as a 737 because of the group flying.
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely
Oh, looks
floating a
good.
few feet above. Yeah, the skin looks. I think it looks great, but
Is that not a 737 next to you? It is.
that's a 737 next to me, but he's flying a 777.
Yeah, I'm flying with a
So
777 Air France
You
from
probably
Rycrew.
just don't have that model.
I don't
Probably.
have that model, so it threw what I have for non-model in that, and that's why he's what 10 feet in the
Floating.
air. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good for our pushback. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll wait for you.
And I want to, because I don't know where I'm actually going. So we're going to use the little arrows cheats.
All right, I'm gonna push back and follow you.
Now, because we have auto thrust, we'll just turn that to there, and then we cheat and just get that at 20 all the way out. We don't have to worry about any of that. Double check, we've got vertical altitude, heading. Runway, are we? Just told me runway 8, so that's 80.
You don't see the big arrows in front of you?
No, I wanted for my heading.
No LNAV or VNAV in this thing either. Jeez.
It was free. It's not bad for free.
Oh, okay. I know.
Some of us don't fly these things for, British Airways every other day.
Yeah, I got to put in some hours in the 747 this week. I haven't done the 740. I've been flying the Airbuses a lot just because they're a couple hour routes. But I got to do a across the pond here eventually.
And that's on, you also have to do that with VATSIM also.
No, I don't have to.
Don't have to.
No, there's no requirement to fly online. I do if there's like Heathrow. All of Heathrow was on tonight. I don't know if VAT UK was having an event or whatever. I just happened to look at VATSpy and I saw that they were all on, and I almost jumped on just doing A320 flight, but I just didn't have it in me. I was like, yeah, I was tired. We were playing Wreckfest and I was kind of worn out, so I said, nah.
Yeah, I showed up and you had left for Wreckfest again, evidently, because I joined Davith and Roy for some more Wreckfest.
Yeah, because I hadn't eaten and I was hungry, and plus tomorrow's kind of a big day, so
right.
I gotta go to bed pretty soon. Actually, I gotta get up early. You should only taxi at 20 knots, right?
I'm at 20 knots. I have it set for 20.
Or you at Ryanair.
I have it set for 20. I had the speed set for 20, and I was using that as a cheat to.
Oh, God. Okay.
Why not?
That doesn't work below a certain speed. Okay, never mind. Shut up. Whatever.
Okay, if it doesn't actually, fine. I'm using the game cheat that allows it to do that. Okay.
Very good. Very good.
I don't know actual flight stuff on the actual plane. I do understand certain parts of it. That's what I'm showing.
With a big plane, you only want to. I mean, you can get away with 25, 30 knots because sometimes you get the controllers yelling at you to speed up on the, on the flat taxiways. But turning, you don't ever want to turn more than about 15 knots because there's a
significant you can tip your wings.
Chance of tipping a wing. Plus, you'll feel that in the cabin. The passengers start complaining.
I dropped my espresso.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well.
I tell you what, you think about that stuff because that's the thing that like BA is very good at is the sort of little minutia stuff that it makes no difference in the sim, but you think about it. You're in you're in a 747 or a 777 or a 787. You're about to fly for 10 and a half, 11 hours. Well, the passengers in the back need to be comfortable for that entire time. You don't want to start them off all rattled. So right. you tend to think like you get in the habit of thinking that there's actual people in the back of the plane.
All right, so I'm up here. Andrew, are you right behind me then?
Yep.
So I'll just call tower. Ask for clearance. Up. Make sure that flaps are at the correct setting. And because this one is this way, we'll go down here, make sure that's there. Double check. Okay. Acknowledge.
I'm gonna watch you take off, and then I gotta go. I gotta go to bed.
All right. Well,
it's 11. Yeah, I gotta be up at 6 o'clock. So, well, quarter of 6 actually.
Okay. Well, just do like I do. Stay up till 3, go to bed for about 2 hours, and get back up.
I can't do that.
You can't do that no more. I shouldn't be doing that no more. What did I do? I forgot to set that.
You may want to set your V2 speed in your
yeah,
MCP though. No. Okay, flight instructor, shut up. No.
Unfortunately, this one doesn't allow you to do that, or I probably would do that. I do a lot of those little things in some of the other planes. I didn't hit the reset. I just realized I didn't hit the reset to what the heck? I know what it did. Come on, slow down. Take off, one of the two. All right, this is a bust. Reset, because I clicked that RTO, which you should click to turn it off, but for some reason it it hit that speed and then tried to lock on the brakes as I'm going down the runway. So that's a failed attempt to take off.
Yeah, that's a fail.
Yeah.
Oops.
Like I said, I'm showing how to land, not take off.
Sometimes these freeware planes are whack, because obviously you'd set it to RTO, so that if you did have to stop, you could.
Right.
Speed brakes armed and all that stuff. But a lot of these freeware planes, they don't have that. So
right,
you just toga these things. You know what I mean? Just full throttle. Off you go. Who cares? All right, boys. Have a good night. MoonDog, thank you.
Oh no, no problem. This will be up there in case you want to learn how to set ILSs and anything else. Like
in case I want to learn how to take off in a 737. Yeah, I'll
yeah.
check that out. All right, guys. Take it easy. Thanks, man.
See you, BP.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do copy. Yes, clearance. Thank you. We'll get this done again here real quick. Shift P.
All right, I'll just line up and wait for you.
And yes, we would typically fly this higher than 8,000, but we're only going to 8,000 because it's a short flight. It made it easier in my flight plan to do it that way. Taxi, ground, heading, climb, that. Don't hit that button for that. Flaps set at 15. Okay. Let's go with our pushback. While no one's looking, we're going to cruise out there a little bit as quickly as we can. And this is a training flight, so I don't know if there would actually be. We're going to say that there's no one in the back, that we've just had them spill all their sodas and drinks and
Puking up in their barf bags and
right.
the oxygen masks have, deployed. And...
I don't think you would drive around with that thing like that. I think that would be put down. The loading conveyor is straight vertical up.
Says the guy that's running 30 knots on the taxiway.
25.
Oh, sorry.
25. I wasn't doing that fast.
Airport police pull you over and give you a citation. What's your hurry there, buddy?
I've watched Air Force One and a couple other large jet movies.
Yes.
You ain't pulling it over if it doesn't want to stop. What was it? Executive Decision with Kurt Russell when he lands at his own airport, which is like not much bigger than.
I can do this. I can do this.
And he keeps yelling gear because it's either he's taking off, he's leaving it down, he's pulling his egg.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He had flaps right, but he kept forgetting the gear. Why is it making noise at me?
Gear down.
All right, I'm approaching up behind you. If you wanna, any other final preps that you need to do. Now this flight should be a little bit quicker.
I'm just waiting on you.
I mean, we will be able to fly a bit quicker, so the flight will be a bit quicker. Active sky weather says it'll still be a nice flight in.
ILS code.
For where we're landing, 111.5.
111.5.
Roger. Someone caught it finally.
Stop calling him Roger.
Dodger.
Roger, over and done.
And out. Alright, I'll be taking off.
Alright, so we will set the auto throttle and flight manager on, and we're not going to do anything else. We will let them know that we're ready for clearance. We will have that set. Flaps are set.
Engine instruments are checked. Throttle full.
Alright, pull out.
When in doubt.
No, in that regard, you either know or you don't know, or you shouldn't be there. That's how you end up with little Dracos running around.
Yeah, you'd think he'd know that by now, but you know.
Alright. Waiting for him to be clear of the runway down there. Going vertical, so we will
Positive right, gear up.
auto throttle on, take off. The important one for the ILS is the smaller plane, because people tend to have issues with that one, that setup. But this one will be nice because we do occasionally on the late night shift guys fly the jetliners occasionally. Back. Here, up. We have autopilot on, so it'll continue to control that. And
You're only going to 6,000?
8,000. I mean, you can go to whatever you would need to. I just did 8,000 because it and set it for the and going back for all three planes.
Mm.
Typically, yes, this plane would be a bit higher even for this flight.
Yeah. So like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Turn left. Thank you. Put the speed up to 245.
It's almost illegal.
It's 250 under 12, right? Or is it 240?
250 under 10.
Under 10. All right,
Mhm.
well, I'm keeping that little buffer. Normally, if I'm driving down the highway, it'd be 5 over. So.
Oh yeah, I normally drive 5 over on highways, but in FAA, if you go over 250, you're like screwed.
Well, we won't do that. I've been good. I'm keeping it 245. Come on.
Just gonna wait for your throttle to go above. You're gonna be like, oh wait, I have to pull back.
Okay, so they're directing me onto my assigned flight plan, which was a direct GPS, so we'll get that. We'll head out that way for probably 5-10 minutes, and then it'll start vectoring me in on approach, like it did on the first plane. And we will see how to set it up for the jetliners for ILS. It's much exactly the same thing. We can start to do some of it already. We pull up the radio stack. The comm that we're going to use, we're going to put it on nav2 like we did previously. It's 111.5. We'll actually switch it over there so we have that already set. The ILS for the airport, which is not the runway, but for the airport, is 111.8. So we'll set that. And then that'll give us our distance to there. Other things we can start to set up for this is the course for our landing is up here. That's what this course here is. We know that that's 58 and that it should be dropping us on runway 6 again. So we'll set that to 58.
Dang it, no.
Scroll slow enough.
Of course, YouTube now wants to do an update.
Proceed 305 and on course. Okay, thank you. Put that to GPS. And then we can set that to VOR lock, and that'll follow us on our GPS. Take note of the VOR lock, the APP, which is our approach button. We'll be needing those again here shortly when we are lining up.
Oh, my plane is so nose up right now. He hates flying this slow at this altitude.
Well, we'll get into something slower on the next one. We're going to be doing the Phenom. Oh, wait a minute. That's just as quick. It's just a smaller plane. I'm doing, the reason I picked these three planes,
Different sizes and different types of airplanes.
no, it's the radios themselves. It's the
No.
style of radio in the first one is more of the smaller class set where you would have to set the ILS and the nav. It'll line up. This is more of the jetliner where it's set up slightly different between this and the FMC. Everyone gets worried about it. No, it's right there in the autopilot. It's just slightly different. And then the Phenom is a G1000 touchscreen type setup, and it's very much the same. But I want to do it just so you have an idea of where you're looking for to set up the ILS, and when you know that you have it locked on, and when to turn it on, because that's been not so much an issue, but a question. When do you turn stuff on? When do you acknowledge it? When do you set it so that it will land and lock onto the approach? The only issue you have to worry about is in the game itself, in Flight Sim, is the radio signal that you look up online through your charts, is it the same one that you need for in the game? And is it the correct one that way? So those
See,
are the,
I-
that's
those
the only
questions,
time that you
I had a
have an
YouTube
issue.
channel. Or if I did live stream.
I'm sorry, what was the question? I was thinking and answering ATC. What?
I said I'd be able to do that if I did live stream.
Well, right.
Because I got a channel. I just don't do live streams. Because I haven't got to that yet.
I haven't really gotten to it right either yet, so I tend to.
Better than me. At least you have your intro.
I have my mics on today,
5-minute
so
long intro.
I've
It
gone.
just cracks me up every time I see it. I just chuckle.
Okay, I do it this
Well,
way. I've looked around at some of the other bigger and some of the other YouTubers and Twitch guys. They have normally about 4 to 5 minutes of intro running so that you get the notification and have time to click on so you're there at the beginning instead of it going, oh, they're live and now you've missed the intro and what's going on. So
Yeah, no,
that's why I did it that way. Unfortunately, if I do anything else, it's not there. Okay, so we're already getting instructions. All right, we are 69 miles southeast. We're turning to 60. So we're going to dial that in. Click back on heading. Expect ILS runway 6. So we're all set up for the same thing again. Now that we're on heading again, if you're going to do, we are doing ILS, so you want to switch this up to nav, and now we'll be ready to follow and track the ILS again. Little things are the important things, because if you don't click certain button, you don't have anything working and you go, what's going on? Much like I did on the first one there when I said, why is this not tracking? Because I didn't hit the approach button. But I at least hit it soon enough that it still caught it and directed me towards where I needed to go. You still shucking muck over there on your farm there? Your virtual farm?
I am cutting grass now.
Cutting grass, okay.
Yep. Cut some grass, we can sell some bales.
Is that on the BPG community server, or is that on your own?
Yeah. Nope. The server.
On the server.
Yep. Peter and I have been
hard at
tag
work on
teaming
that.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, depending upon, it will probably be too late for you. I might jump on that after I get done with this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on how quickly I land this.
I got a meeting at 9 in the morning, so
Oh,
which is usually about the time I get to work, so I need to get there a little quicker.
well, I
But
understand
there's
that.
stuff to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the 3 fields are
Well, leave me a message.
cultivated, and
Leave me a message somewhere of a couple things you would like to get done, and I'll see if I get to it. If not, oh well,
okay.
because I'm not sure. I get done with this, and then I got to have wind down time, and then I got to get
Yeah.
to bed, and then I got to get up so I can get to, because I got to get a wet saw. I've got 200 tile to hang up on the back wall of the shower,
Right.
but I have to cut only 28 of them. It's like I barely even need the darn thing, but I got to get it. But the good thing is, it's even if it's not my best tile job, it'll still look good, and it'll give me some more practice with doing tile.
Yep. Every little bit helps, that's for sure.
Yes, I'm not a real pilot, and I'm not a real pilot. I'm actually a maintenance guy. I just stayed at Best Western last night.
What? You're not a real pilot?
Times it sounds like it, and other times it definitely doesn't.
Or as I called him earlier, and he will deny this, but jack of all trades and a master of none, so.
Not
He
because
won't fully deny it, but.
no, because no, I do know a bunch of trades.
Yeah.
I'm just the jack of all trades signifies that you just sort of can do it, but it doesn't mean that you know how to do it correctly. What I do I do fairly well. So
Okay.
it's more like an apprentice of many applications, you know.
Right. Gotcha.
I think that would be a better
Analogy.
of what I do.
Okay.
But aside from that, you are correct. I am definitely not a master of any. But I have had a couple master painters say that I'm actually getting pretty darn good when I take the time to do it. Now the person goes, what do you mean to take the time to do it? When I'm not being rushed by a property owner to go, just slap it on and get it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we got to get it. They signed the lease and they want to move in tomorrow. Okay. Throw the paint up there.
But it won't be dry for a week, so no.
Well, no, actually, it only
dries
takes
pretty quick.
Dry to the touch is a couple hours, and everyone
Yeah.
thinks, oh, okay, it's good. No, it's dry to the touch is a couple hours. Then cure time is normally 6 to 8 hours after that, in regular conditions.
Right.
If you're outside, you got to get it on and have it dry while it's above 40 degrees, and it's got to stay above 40 degrees through curing time. I've had people go, well, it's 40 degrees right now, we can paint, but it's supposed to get to 12 degrees overnight, and it's like it's still going to peel. Okay, so we're contacting Fort Myers approach. At some point here, they're going to maybe start to drop us down. Are you to my 3 o'clock there, Andrew?
Yep.
Okay.
8 miles out.
As long as we don't end up in the exact same place. 325. I think that's where we're at, Barrow.
As long as we don't pull what happened that one time for VA. You're literally like a mile and a half apart.
Well, that's a little close. It just makes you go, hurry up and land, because the other person's coming in right behind you. So, quick reminder, Ronald McDonald's House Charities, uh, links for that are in the description, the banner for YouTube, and on my Twitch page. We're the charity that we are helping raise money for, and if you have an extra couple of dollars, please, if you have and want to donate to something that's a worthy cause. And I'm trying to ignore the gunshots that are outside on the street in front of me.
The gunshots.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Sounds like a small hand pistol. Yep, that's the neighborhood I'm in. And I don't think Yosemite Sam is out there.
Or Ilma Fudd.
Yeah, because they both shoot a whole lot more than the number of shots that I just heard. I just actually, because we were watching Al Bundy takes on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then there was some Looney Tunes stuff, and I watched some Three Stooges stuff. So for some reason, it pulled up some other Looney Tunes, and it was Elmer Fudd or not Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny.
Nice.
And it's just like, for guys my age, Travis's age, that is like,
you can't get any better.
You went home, that's all you had was Bugs Bunny and Daffy, and then you had Three Stooges, you had Fred Flintstones, the Jetsons, and it was literally, those were the four, and then the Batman Batman and Robin. You remember watching that one? Same Bat channel, same Bat station time. Scooby-Doo.
Where are you?
Well, I really hated Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo. They added Scrappy.
Oh,
no, I was
Scrappy.
I mean, if you actually watch those ones, it's the same episode. They just ripped it off and got rid of the gang and put Scrappy in charge of the whole other three.
Yeah.
The guest appearances with the Globetrotters and
oh yeah,
Three Stooges. Some of the other famous ones. Who was it?
Don Knotts.
Don Knotts was on there a couple of times. Who was the singer from the Mamas and the Papas? The heavier one. She was on there. Mama Cass.
Yeah.
She was on there. God, yeah. That was ages ago. That was like 40 years ago.
I know. Feels like it, doesn't it?
No, it actually is.
It actually was.
35 to 40 years ago.
Yeah, 35 at least. Yep.
Okay. I should be being
Damn, MoonDog, we're getting old.
Getting old.
Well, you're old as dirt. I'm getting old, so.
No. Wait a minute. Before we go there, you have to understand. Okay, first off, my birthday was 4 days ago, so yes, I'm getting older. Actually getting older. But no, I used to tell my mother she was older than dirt. She was as old as dirt. She was as old as dirt, and my grandfather was older than time itself.
Nice.
And I would tell it directly to them, and you know what? They both agreed.
Yeah. Well, at some point you might as well, right? I mean...
All right, so I'm now going down to 1,600 feet. Yes, I acknowledge. We'll give a little speed break there as we're descending, so that we can keep at least this speed. Seeing how we're descending, I also like to start to drop the speed down, so we'll go down to about 220. Turn right heading 330.
I'm already. They told me to turn right to head to 320.
As long as it just keeps us spaced out, we're fine, right? So, all right. So now on this flight deck, there is no GPS with it, so that you can't line up your approach, but you would still be. The sim itself has one. If you pull it up, you can see it has one. So you can set it up the same way if you want to track that way. But we're going to close that. We're going to do it without it this time. So, all right. So 5,000. We're on the heading that they want.
4.
Give it a little bit of speed brake. All right. Quick check. We have course set. ILS is set. Okay. I want to change that on ILS. We want to make sure that our active one is 111.50. Switch that over. Now actually our channel 1 and 2 are both that. In this plane, if you clicked on this square button, it will do the ID, and then it should eventually pick it up and you'll hear the Morse code.
Mm-hmm.
And almost on cue.
SOS.
Yes.
SOS.
Dan, or I mean Travis, because Dan would do the same thing, but Travis.
Yeah. Well, you kind of open it up.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Yeah, I did.
It was too easy.
If you want to get, ribbed in the monkey show, that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
It's just plan on it. Plan on it. All right.
We all take our share of it too.
And some of us more than others.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean anyone that's here. There's a couple other guys that just get ribbed and ribbed and ribbed a whole lot more. And it's all done in fun. I harass
Everyone.
Farming Peter. Everyone. I harass Farming Peter about his Volvos.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I'm 21 miles southwest, turn heading 30. So you can see that we're starting to do the same thing we did on the other plane. We need to establish on the localizer. So 30 descend to 1600. We're finishing that. We're at 2000 now. We're going to contact approach. Or, well, we'll acknowledge and then we'll contact. Now, because it's a bigger plane, we're going to keep managing our speed a little bit more. We're going to drop that down to 95. Now we'll go to tower for Fort Myers. Give it another step of flaps.
I'm on short final.
We want the localizer locked on. And then we'll hit approach. Now it will be set up, and in a couple of moments it should turn us to the right. We look at the heads-up display here. That is our glide slope diamond. That is our approach line diamond. It is to our left, so we're still to the left of our direction. This line here is the same as our GPS one. It is to our left. Once it starts to move, or the diamond starts to move, we'll know that we're turning and locked onto ILS. Fly straight in, runway 6. On this one you can see our airport, KRSW, so we should be to proximity that line out. That's when we'll have to start to turn. So we'll do a little bit more flaps. Drop the speed down a little bit more. We're going to leave it about 185. For flaps 15. Andrew is ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. Short final.
He uses all those big, important jargons because he knows them. If I start throwing out there P traps and S traps and quarter-inch elbows, he's going to be going, huh?
Sounds like a science experiment to me. But I know nothing about flying. I got to fly in a Cherokee 6 when I was a kid, and the guy I was flying with let me hold the wheel while we were in the air at one point. But that's the extent of my flight knowledge.
ILS just grabbed because we're turning. We know that we're locked on. We're wonderful again. We're at the same point that we was on the last one. Our approach is locked in. Now we are worried about speed and landing gear so that we're ready to land. We'll want to watch that diamond there. Will line up on our center line. That's our glide slope. As it comes down, it'll get even with our horizon, and as it continues to go down, it'll actually draw us down. We'll be locked on glide slope. So in one of these, what is landing speed? About 140.
Like 150.
150, okay. Well, I'm headed down to 165. I want to keep adding flaps.
Like 165 short final. That's when, then like 150 once you're not too far out, like 500 feet above the ground. Then over runway, pull, throttle idle.
All right, so we are a little bit left. It's now bringing us back. Course is set. Speed set. Flaps are full. That's our runway over there. Our lights. And Andrew on the runway just about.
Yep, I'm already off the runway.
Off the runway, okay. We're starting to see the lights change for the Pappies. And our glide slope should be, if we look down here, starting to drag us down. There is. So we are completely locked on approach. Clear to land. Thank you. More speed brake. Now on this one, I will actually let it fly itself in a little bit more than what I did on the Beechcraft. Speed slowing up. Right on a glide slope. We're doing wonderful because we are locked on ILS. Easy to set up once you understand what to look for. So.
Being if I want to fly Embraer 120 or the Beechcraft King Air.
Don't sink.
A little bit left than the last time, but we're down. A little bit heavier than the last one, but fairly smooth landing. We're not going to get that one in time.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just now saw it.
Yeah, a little bit left.
Yep, but
a
it's
little bit
on
heavy.
the runway.
A little bit heavy. It's on the runway. It makes landing on the runway a whole lot easier if there's an ILS and you can lock it on. So guess what? It's easy to do. Do it. All right, so acknowledge handoff. We're sort of stopped here. So we're just going to quite literally, we're going to end flight. Yes. Change display to that one. And we're going to just jump right into the Phenom real quick. Jump over back to our beginning point and do the same in that flight. So one Phenom. Just a few games there. All the flight sim stuff is actually on the other screen in case I need to pull something up and I've already into it. OBS is on the other screen. Steam is on the other screen. Discord's on. Okay, that's nice. Flight sim crashed. We'll start that back up. Very much. Give me 1 second here, guys. So while we're doing this, thank you, Travis, for hanging out.
You bet.
Thank you, Andrew, for hanging out and flying. See, I'm not always a jerk. I can be the nice one occasionally. Andrew's just going, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Were you doing the second flight with me, Andrew, or are you? He's not talking to me now.
You were nice to him. You doesn't know what to think about it.
Probably. I've left him speechless. So now I gotta load up all this stuff again real quick. This is KMIA. Going with 10 a.m. Let's go the right way. Okay, weather set. All right, planner, load. IFR Miami, Tucson. There we go. Route. Yep. Okay. Nope. Wait a minute. Flight planner load, and it should be correct altitude. Right. 8,000. Okay. Yes. Fly. All right. Did I completely lose you, Andrew? Are you just not talking?
Nope. Muting myself right now.
Muting yourself. Okay. Are you flying with us again?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now I need to bring up the Fly Live and get it set and set up. W 1000 wait. Yes, okay. Now you've got it. All right, thank you. So now you have all those back up there. We're in the plane. I'm back at 10. That. Now I do have to set up the flight plan for this, so we'll do that real quick.
Join FS.
Yeah, because it killed it. So let me jump all the way back out of that, and I should be there now.
Alright, give me a second. Yep, there you are in your magical F-22. I don't know why it still shows you as F-22, but oh well.
At times I fly it like that.
And then rip the wings off.
No, I haven't ripped the wings off of this one at all. I've done that.
Well, that's good.
You want to do a 60-degree bank? Okay, let's do it. M-I-A. Enter. So we're good there. That's our flight plan. We're good. Barometer is probably still close to 3026. But let's click on the correct box so that we actually pull it up and double check. 3025. Close that window. $30.25. $30.25. Good there. There. Turn a few of these switches into the correct spots. Because it already has it as technically running, even though it shouldn't be yet. We'll just make it ready to run. This is not study level. It would not be running with half these switches off. This is one I wish it was closer to study level. And then let the fun begin. All right, so we're all set that way. Our nav, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to set it for outside of the airport, which was 111.80. RSW, and then
push
our
and everything. I'll wait for you.
yes. For the airport should still stay at 6, so we'll set that in for 111.5. So we're all set that way. Clearance. Please give me clearance to take off. Don't be mean.
Don't be cruel. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I was going down the same road there, and it's like, yeah, YouTube.
Yeah.
Someone will say that, you know, the King's music is still, you know, copyright or something.
Right.
You know. Then there'll
Even
be
though
that
some unknown idiot was just like piece of it. But...
yeah. It wasn't. He was just muttering and singing. It wasn't like it was the actual song. The lyrics are copyrighted. You can't do that. All
Fine,
right.
my name is copyrighted.
So we're all good there. We're good there. Top of graphical. Traffic. We'll throw traffic on. Why? Just to annoy everyone. We're all good. We're all set. Altitude, then ILS up. This one, because it has 2 ILS settings. I set this one too. $30.25. Okay. set? I'm running through my head real quick to make sure I'm set to at least take off. Vertical speed. Set that now. All right, so we're set there. Ready for pushback.
Takeoff. Okay.
You remember where the runway is? All right. No one's paying attention. You're all fired.
I have no clue.
You have no clue?
In front of you.
Okay. My question is, where's Andrew? You down the runway already, Andrew? Get my
He's pulling a MoonDog.
yeah, get my what did Draco call it? Concrete saw going here. Because the whine of it was so loud.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, Andrew's here somewhere because I saw him. I think he's over to the left over here.
I'm right behind you.
Are you right behind me? Okay.
Yep. I'm in a Embraer 120.
Embraer 120, which means he should be able to keep up with us.
Yep. It's basically like a Beechcraft but Embraer version.
Okay. So we are representing the Brazilian Embraer company,
Mm-hmm.
who is having major negotiations and stuff with Boeing over something. I'm just seeing how you Google something once, like charts and stuff, and now all I get in Google is news articles for, Boeing this and Boeing that and Embraer and this plane crash, and it's like, I really don't need to know all this stuff, but I'll pay attention to some of it. And he's probably actually back there going, well, this freaking guy in this plane moving along a little bit quicker.
Yeah, I know. I'm over here like going 12 knots. I'm like, come on.
Hurry up, man.
Well, see, I get told, oh, you're going too quick. You're going to roll it over. Then I get told, you're going too slow.
I'm only taxing at 15, which is idle. Like, I'm having to go from idle to reverse.
There, I'm just over 20 now. Now this flight should be fairly quick, about as quick, or actually as quick as the last flight, because this one will also get up to the threshold, and we'll have to keep it under the 240, about the 240 range there, so we'll do that.
Yeah, I don't even know if this thing hits 240. I'll find out.
This one will. This one, I've had this one at 8,000 feet at 330 knots, and caught up to Stu and Davith when they were, and Roy when they were doing a little flight in the Cessnas, or was it Draco? They were flying the little 162s
Mm-hmm.
that only do like 100 knots when the wind's behind them. And I was doing same altitude, this 300 knots, and almost caught up to them before they landed. And they took off 2 hours ahead of me almost. Okay. Now that we're around the corner, we can pick up the speed so that Andrew doesn't go lay on the horn back there.
I won't lay on the horn. Going 15 knots, you're fine.
He's going to pass me though. He
No,
was
I know.
racing. He was racing earlier, folks. So, you know, give him a little room on the backstretch, and he'll draft and then slip around. He is, you know, when he's
taking his opportunities, taking him on the corner.
DRS opened.
So I was going to say he does race F1 stuff. So.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And watch F1. I have the safety video thing going on right now. But it's so weird because half of it's in like French and the other half is in English.
All right.
So you only have to pay attention to half of it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like I pay attention to it anyways.
Well, right.
All right. So. Contact tower for clearance.
All right.
Contact tower for clearance. Thank you.
No.
Mule services.
Okay. Cleared to takeoff, but I have a de Havilland Dash 8 on runway 8 taking off to caution it. So in other words, that's the plane that Zig likes to fly. He's flown
the
that
Crash
one.
8?
Yeah, he's flown. He's actually got it to be a Dash 8, not a Crash 8. He's gotten good in it. But yes, acknowledge. And we will strobes and landing lights. Punch this pig in the backside and get it going.
Listen to him squeal.
Deliverance. Squeal for me! Squeal!
Alright. And up and wait.
So now we can go on autopilot. Heading. Altitude.
Too low.
Yes.
Here. Too low. 400. Here. Too low.
Well, are you climbing? What do I have going on here?
What do you have going on?
My altitude for some reason way down there. Yes, I'll contact them as I buzz these houses at like 100 feet. I probably ripped shingles off of about 20 houses at least.
And in stranger news today, aircraft flying over
Leaving
Midtown.
Yeah. was extremely low and decided to rip shingles right off of everyone's house.
Peter must be coming into the server. There's no one else that would be getting on the server
At this time, no.
at this time of night, because it's morning for him. Yep, it's Peter.
He only has time to do a little bit before he goes to work, so.
Yeah.
Type in the chat in there. Where's his
Yeah.
Volvo? I want to know where the Volvo is. Come on, quick. There we go. It was actually yelling at me about my landing gear because it was too low. It thought I was trying to land. All right, so we are in the air. We are headed towards. We have distance. We have ILS in there. If we went to
Oops.
no, I don't want that one. I go to PDF and do nav 1. It should have distance. Not close enough for it to read it yet. Okay. All right, so we're on our way back to Southwest International Airport again for us to do this approach. Why am I climbing at 800 feet? This thing will climb at like 3,000 feet. And we only have Travis in the back, so we can just, you know, tell him sit back and hold on to his drink.
Drink. I'm holding the bag.
Yeah, actually, that was probably another one of those where they're not going to feel very comfortable for the flight because we started off poorly. And we'll line up, and then we hit the nav to turn it to GPS, and we lined up on GPS. Now, the Phenom from, oh crap, who is the court? I just forgot their name. It's not Flight One. Who's the company? Caronado. Thank you. Caronado designed this plane. It's really nice, looks really good. When you get this plane though, the nav button up here, this button up here, does not have a key on the keyboard set to it. So when you're trying to mash on that nav button for it to work, it won't. So what you need to do is set it to a key that you want it to. We've found out the N key is not designated to anything. Designate it to the N key. Then on top of it, then that nav button switch on the dash there then does work. So that is one thing you need to do with this plane. Once you've done that, then you can fly this very easy with the same procedures that we've already done once before on the earlier flights. Yes, contact Miami departure. Yes, we'll do that. So did he respond?
He tried. He said he doesn't know how to get into where we're at on Discord.
Oh. Does he not have an invite?
I think I'm giving him one now.
Okay.
Wait.
I
Who?
think, yeah, Peter, Farming Peter.
Oh. Holy crap! These clouds are like just at like 8,000.
Can he get into?
Oh, I don't know if he can get
Streaming.
into the streaming for Ziggs. I don't think he can.
Probably not.
Well, if you want to go
We could
chat with
jump
him.
over.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
We could. Let's just jump into VPs for right now.
I'll let him know.
Okay. Okay, so we are back to, we got ILS is directing us again. So we are going to acknowledge that they want me to turn to heading 265. Switch that to heading. Now we have it's set on the ILS navigation 2 is set in for 111.5.
Hello.
Hey, Peter. And now we're just following ATC in as they instruct. And they'll probably tell me that, you know, I don't have a Volvo and I'll have to leave and go come back once I have one.
Yeah, Moondog, you're going a bit quick at 8,000.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to keep adjusting it. It's
got to be a hard time not having a Volvo.
well,
I can see them.
The air police are going to have to catch me. I'm doing like 265 when I should be doing like 240.
And I'm back here actually doing like 230.
So you guys have been busy.
Well,
I jumped on a little bit last night and helped him on the server there a little bit. Moved a wagon of bales and yeah, I didn't flip it over. Didn't do any gymnastic moves. Just regular
it was
driving.
Boring, so
yeah.
So you like your present, Peter?
Yeah, I do. For sure.
Definitely makes climbing hills easier.
Yeah, definitely. It was a bit tricky to get up the hill at the barn with a full load, but
yeah,
I had to turn around, go past the town and turn around and come from the other way.
Yeah. I haven't pulled. I've just been hauling one layer, but
okay. Put another one on top, and you'll see.
Yeah.
You have to think twice. You would be happy if it wasn't for the hedges on the other side of the road.
For anyone that's jumping in, for those that are jumping in and wondering, okay, what are they doing? They're talking about farming, Farm Sim 17. We as a group all met that way. We enjoy farming. They are talking about the server, the BPG community server. If you need to find any information about it, excuse me, you can find it on Bipolar Profit Gaming's Facebook page and such. All those links are on mine. And they're talking about the newbie farm map, which our good friend Cavalier Roy designed and made, and we harassed him about the fact that he has hedges that you can't drive through, which would be true, and he's got hills, which are pretty true, and it's a very difficult map, and it's fun, but we go, does it have to be this hard? Come on.
Yeah, sometimes we do. That is a fact.
Narrow roads and hedges all over the place.
Oh yeah. This is a map that's not going to have a huge tractor going down any of the roads.
No, you're not going to see a big bud going down this one.
It's going to be fun just trying to get any of the steers to go down through there, and I will find a case track and put it on there just to do it once. All right, heading 290.
So Peter, fields 7, 8, and 10 are ready to be seeded.
Okay.
And
I thought I could fertilize them first, but
they need one more fertilizing. I think I've plowed 7 and 8 already. Fertilized it twice. I think fertilized both of them twice. So.
Okay.
I've been on pretty much all afternoon.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, for this plane.
Good job.
As you're flying ILS, this has the CDI button here is for your GPS, your VOR1, and your VOR2. As we can see, the VOR is active for the ILS because it's already green down here. That'll let us know that it's active and we can start to lock onto it. And what I will do now is I will change the upper one so that it is ready to go on there and I can start to track it into there. So now it will turn over and it should then lock onto the ILS also. It's now reading it, it's green, and it's directing towards it. We want to set our course for 58, a heading of 58 degrees. So we'll change this here. And we are pretty much set as we have been the last 3 times. Now we just got to wait for them to direct us close enough so that everything will catch and we'll be set to land. Yes, we are doing ILS training or instructions on flying tonight, Peter.
Yeah?
Yes, so if you watch the video back, you'll be all set and you can fly with us on a Saturday and flight sim.
That sounds good.
Sounds good. See, we can get Peter to join us in anything. Farming, trucking, flying.
He is not picky.
I'm not a complicated guy.
Although I know he won't come racing with us. Why? Because there's no Volvo race cars.
I'm not familiar with the roads over there, you know. Got to be somewhere here in Stockholm.
That's okay. MoonDog is familiar with him, and he's just as dangerous. So.
If not more dangerous.
If not more.
I like racing. That's not the thing. But I like farming more.
Especially if it's potatoes.
Yeah.
If you need about 20 acres of potatoes harvested, Peter's your guy. He'll do it by hand.
If it was possible, I would.
Peter will be 120 still by hand. I'll get these darn potatoes. I'll get them. I'll get every freaking one of them, but I'll get them.
Will be like...
I can hear him now. You young whippersnappers, we used to do this by hand.
No, I'm going to say, please, can someone hold the umbrella? The last one.
He wants the umbrella held whether it's raining or sunny because he doesn't need that delicate complexion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunburned. Yeah. Yes, Peter, our resident bus driver.
Yeah.
And nice guy.
What? Yes. I got told that I was the nice one. I am nowhere completely close to as nice as Peter is.
Peter be just like when I was young and my grandfather had potato land. We used to help him out and pick them up and putting them down as well by hand. So it was a hard work, but I can still smell the dirt.
Yeah. It's shoved that far up in your nose, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's something.
That I actually understand because
it was a family thing, you know.
Yeah.
I've sanded drywall and had it. You know, I've not always used a dust mask. Sorry, sue me. But I've had, that stuck up in my nose for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what. You're looking for handkerchiefs and stuff for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
On our ILS, you can definitely see it's saying IRSW. It is locked onto the localizer. All we have to do is now get into the right direction and it will lock on. The G1000 is probably the easiest ILS for capturing and directing on. It will, though, tell you if you're below the glide slope a lot. It will tell you if you're it does have all the warnings, and they're very verbal, and sometimes people say they can be annoying, but it is what it is. So we are now descending to 2,000 feet.
They're there for a reason, people.
Yeah, it's to let you know that, oh my gosh, you're below the glide slope and it's yelling at you that you should probably do something about it. We'll throw on some air brakes. We'll back the speed off. Because we don't want to get over the 250 mark. We have Air Police Andrew behind us.
Mm-hmm.
I got
don't
it back.
Even see you.
I got it back down to 230. I've been at 230, but 215 for a little bit there. That's all right. I'll land and I'll wait for you to land also.
I'm not that far behind.
No. Let's see, if we look at it, that's you there? Yeah. You're probably, what, 5-7 minutes behind. What airport is that? We could probably look in there and see. That is CYY. CYY. Is that? You know, there's so much stuff down here that is Edison and Henry Ford related. There, Edison, crap, what's his first name?
Thomas.
Thomas Edison. Yeah. Well, yeah, Thomas. If those not knowing, Thomas Edison and Henry Ford were best of buds, and Thomas Edison has a house down here in Fort Myers, and it is wonderfully nice house. He's got some expensive trees that spread out and all that. Henry Ford used to, spend time down here. So there's a lot of references with like airports and roadways that are Henry Ford this, Thomas Edison that, Edison Mall. So it's amazing how much history's down there in Fort Myers. There's even a Thomas Edison Museum and I think a Henry Ford Museum down there too. And if you ask Farmer Dad, he will remind you that Henry Ford was Irish. You know what? We can descend a little quicker. Acknowledge head 330. So if we're on heading at 330 in a couple of minutes here, as I go past it. Oh no, wait a minute. Wasn't to it yet.
Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink
yes,
rate.
I know.
Sink rate.
Pull up.
Sink rate.
Pull up.
No, it just doesn't.
Sink rate.
It lets you know that
Sink
you're
rate.
going down too quickly at that altitude. There's nothing wrong with it telling you that. It's supposed to.
Sink rate.
Oh.
Sink rate.
Yeah, I know. We're leveling out. We're at 2,000. So we're all set for our approach, basically. If you could see our the active sky, you could see that Andrew's trying to cut me in on the inside of the corner.
I'm not trying to. It's just the vectors they're giving me.
I know, Andrew. I
I'm
gotta
just
say,
gonna cut you off. Make you go around.
Alright. Bring the speed back up. We're down to 180. Sort of keep it there. So you can see that we already have our glide slope strip up. The diamond for it is up here. It is directing us to the ILS. And the only thing that we have to wait for is ATC to turn us to a heading of 33 or 030 until we are on intercept ILS, and we're all set. At that point, then we would hit the nav button and our approach button, and it would lock on. Fairly simple, I think. Have
Embraer Delta Oscar Golf, UART 18 miles southwest, turn right heading 030, descend and maintain 1,600, cleared ILS, runway 6, approach, maintain 1,600, fuel established on the localizer, contact Fort Myers Tower on 128.75.
and it was almost like I had predicted it and knew it was going to say it right there. We're descending to 1,600 feet, turning to 030 until we establish on the localizer. And now we'll go over to tower. Let them know that we're coming in. All right, now on this one, we'll turn this to ILS. You can see on this one, it has the same diamond to our left, the diamond above us. That's our glide slope coming down. That's our ILS lock on, which way we need to turn. We now hit the nav button. You'll see that over here, it'll turn on to VOR. Hit the approach. Our approach is turned on. Did I get that? Yes, LOC is locked on. So now we're just waiting for us to lock on and turn in that direction. Now, on this screen, we could have done a procedure like we did before and line up on vectors, but I'm pretty sure we're going to lock on with no problem.
There should be plenty of slurry too, if you want to use that instead.
Okay. Would that be better?
Up to you. Save us some money.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, so laps 1.
Well, yeah, there's not actually that much.
No, I figured it wouldn't last for
Glide to slope.
all the fields, but
Glide to slope.
16,000, 47,000
Glide to slope.
solid.
Glide to slope.
Now we have the glide slope warning. Yes.
Sorry, MoonDog.
Well, no, this plane lets us know that we're below the glide slope, but this is where it brought us in at, so it's going to keep telling us that we're below it until we actually catch onto it. Unfortunately, you can't kill the warning, so we're all going to hear glide slope for just a couple of minutes.
Glide to slope. 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 Glide to slope.
We're going to do another thing of flaps. We'll be at flaps 2.
Glide to slope. Glide to slope.
Get the speed down to about 170.
Glide to
Pretty good
slope.
there.
Glide to slope. 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 Glide to slope.
Wonderful
Glide
thing
to
about
slope.
once the glide slope
Glide to
thing
slope.
shuts up,
Glide to slope.
guess
Glide
what?
to slope.
You'll be locked on the
Glide
glide
to
slope.
slope. Glide to slope. Glide to slope.
Really?
Glide to slope.
You better
Glide to
be.
slope. Glide to slope.
See that we've
Glide to
turned,
slope.
we're lining up,
Glide to
we're
slope.
finishing getting
Glide to
lined up
slope.
on our
Glide to
ILS.
slope. Glide to
You can
slope.
see the diamond
Glide
changing
to
there.
slope.
You can see
Glide to
the
slope.
runway
Glide
off
to
in the
slope.
distance there. We're
Glide
doing
to
really
slope.
good there.
Glide to slope. Glide to slope.
We're going to back off on the
Glide to
speed a
slope.
little bit more.
Glide to slope. Check. Glide to slope. Check.
And we will now do the landing
Glide
gear
to
because
slope.
it's wanting
Glide
us to
to
do
slope.
that.
Glide to slope. Glide to slope.
So many
Glide to
warnings.
slope. Check. Glide to slope.
Yes.
Glide to slope. Glide to slope. Glide to slope. Glide to slope.
All right.
Glide to
Glide
slope.
slope's coming down.
Glide
It
to
will
slope.
be quiet here in
Glide
just
to
a
slope.
moment.
Glide to slope. Glide to slope.
There we go. Because it's just above us. We can see Andrew ahead of us. Clear to land. Thank you.
So am I.
Did you cut in front of me and ready to land? You're 1.5 miles ahead of me.
Hey, I was just following ATC's orders.
No, I know. That's fine. Back off on speed. Go full flaps. Landing speed on this is right about 120. Power there.
Glide to slope.
Yeah,
Glide to
we
slope.
got a little bit below
Glide
it
to
because I
slope.
got too low on
Glide to
speed.
slope. Glide to slope. Glide to slope. Glide to slope.
And we are lined up on it. It's your discretion at when you want to turn off the autopilot and land it. We've already had that discussion. I'm going to keep it at this just so that I can keep Andrew just ahead of me there. Now I'll turn it off. Turn off the auto off.
500.
500 feet.
400.
Stay out a little bit. Right over these trees.
200. 100.
Left again. And set down again. And we're on brakes pretty heavy. It's all right. Don't want to catch this turn here. There we go. Another successful landing. So we're just going to pull over here and park, and I'll start to wrap things up here. Want to thank want to thank Andrew for flying with me for the couple of flights and hanging out. I want to thank Travis, Peter, and BP who stopped in, and Aviation that stopped in on Discord. Thank those of you that have stopped in and watched. Those that catch this at a later point, leave comments on anything that I did make a mistake on or that I could improve on. I'll take those criticisms. If you found this helpful, let me know and leave, check marks, thumbs ups and stuff to let other people be aware that if it's helpful for someone, it might be helpful for someone else. And don't forget about the Ronald McDonald's charity. Want to well wishes to Draco and Zig. Hopefully they both are back for Saturday's stream. We do stream Saturdays and Tuesday nights flying, and throughout the week on other things. Saturday afternoon is the actual Monkey Show World Extravaganza with us flying around the world for the Ronald McDonald's House, and Sunday farming on the BPG community server and the Newbie Farms, which obviously we heard that Peter and Travis were already working on, so it's always up. And thanks for everyone for hanging out. And does anyone want to say goodbye as we go?
Take it easy.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.